Welcome to the first episode of Coffee with Kelvin. Today, I want to do something very simple, which is to compare HDBs and condos in the same area. I have two case studies here today, so let's just get right into it. Being able to ballot and get $1 million HDB is just as good as striking the lottery. One classic example of $1 million HDB is Pinnacle at Duxton. This iconic 50-story HDB is located along Cantonment Road in between Outram MRT and Tanjong Pagar MRT. When Pinnacle launched in 2004, there were more than 5,000 applicants for their 1,848 units, meaning that only 1 out of every 3 persons will get a unit there. The 4-room units were purchased at around 330,000, while the 5-room units were purchased at around 400,000. Lucky owners that managed to get a good balloting number collected their keys in 2009, and after their 5 years MOP, they started selling in 2015. Now, the 4-room units managed to sell at around 800,000, while the 5-room units were able to sell at around 930,000. Really strike lottery because everyone made profits of $500,000 in the span of 11 years. Now, let's compare Pinnacle to a condo in the same area that launched roughly during the same period. Icon is a mixed development project that was launched in 2003. Just a few streets away from Pinnacle, the starting price for the 2-bedroom units were going at $500,000, and the starting price for the 3-bedroom units were going at around $1 million. Upon collecting their keys in 2007, the 2-bedroom units managed to sell for more than $1 million, and the 3-bedroom units managed to sell for more than $2 million. Take a look at this, and this. You can see that most people who bought Icon made much more money than those who bought Pinnacle in a much shorter time. I know some of you will still not be convinced. After all, there are not so many HDBs that are built in a central area, right? So I have another example, which is in Fernvale. Turning the clock back to the year 2011, Fernvale River Grove is a cluster of BTOs that launched during that period. The 4-room units were purchased at around 230,000, while the 5-room units were purchased at around 300,000. After the balloting, those that managed to get their BTOs collected their keys in 2015, and after the 5 years MOP, they started selling in 2020. Now, the 4-room units managed to sell for around 450,000, while the 5-room units managed to sell at around $600,000. Everyone made 200 to 300,000 in 10 years. Very impressive for HDB located in Sengkang. Now let's compare that to some condos in the same neighborhood. Right opposite Fernvale River Grove, there is H2O Residences that launched also in 2011. Some of them sold it right after they collected their keys and moved on with High Park Residences, which launched in 2015. High Park performed really well because of upgraders in that area. These are the profits from the resale transactions for H2O Residences. I would say, on average, they made $100,000. And these are the profits from the resale transactions for High Park Residences. You can see some of them made more than $400,000. If you have bought a BTO using two names, you will miss out on both opportunities. But if you have bought H2O, you could also buy High Park. Both profits added up, you are already halfway to retirement.
What?
So what can we learn from these examples? The first reason we should get a private property is time. Yes, a BTO can make you $200,000 to $300,000, but it will take 4 to 5 years before you can collect your keys, and another 5 years of MOP before you can actually sell it. A total of 10 years. How many 10 years do you have in your lifetime? It's not difficult for an average condo to get the same $200,000 to $300,000 profits, if not even better returns in just 3 to 6 years. If you want oversized returns in a shorter time period, then you should stop wasting time getting a BTO. Can you imagine getting a BTO in Fernvale River Grove and then High Park Residences launched? You would have missed a big opportunity in your lifetime. But if you have bought H2O, although you did not make a lot of money, you can still continue and buy High Park Residences. There's an opportunity cost for buying BTOs. Second reason is leverage. In Singapore, we can only borrow up to the age of 65. As we get older, our loan tenor will decrease. Our monthly mortgage will definitely increase if we have a shorter time paying it off. We also have something called total debt servicing ratio, which limits the amount that we can borrow. The longer period we can take to repay our loan, the more we can borrow. So if you can afford a condo, but you get a BTO instead, then you will be wasting the most critical part of your journey. I've met a few upgraders that managed to save $400,000 to $500,000 at the age of 55, asking me if they should upgrade to a condo. But after they did the IPA, they realized that the mortgage is too much to handle. When I asked them, why didn't you upgrade when you were younger? They said they were too busy enjoying life and not saving enough money. $500,000 is a lot of money, but not enough for retirement. At the age of 55, you only have 10 years of loan left. A loan of $1 million is a mortgage of $9,000 a month. That's just crazy. Which brings me to the third reason, which is savings. Let's say you don't need a property to stay, but you go ahead and buy one anyway. After collecting your keys, you rent it out to a tenant, which will cover your monthly mortgage, plus give you additional cash flow. Now that's a good investment because number one, someone is saving that money for you. And number two, if your property appreciates in the short run, you can choose to sell it off and upgrade to something that you really need. It's very difficult to save $1 million in 20 years. If we divide $1 million by 20 years, it's $50,000 a year and roughly $4,000 a month. But if you're able to own a property, someone else will be saving that money for you. To summarize everything, buy a condo when you can afford one. My three reasons are time. You can make more money, but you cannot make more time. Leverage. The younger you are, the more leverage you have. Savings. Save with other people's money, not from your own pocket. This is the end of today's topic. Let me know in the comments why you think Singaporeans should or should not buy a condo, so we can help homeowners stay more informed and make better decisions. I'm Kelvin and I'll leave my website link below. Let's have coffee another time.